Yo, what's up guys, this is Aptrix here and we have just received one of the biggest updates of official Citra Android. Both the Canary build as well as Nightly build have been updated with improved performance, graphical issues have been fixed along with crashing fixes for few games. Let's take a look at its changelog. So on the official Discord server of Citra Emulator, software renderer multi-thread processing has been added, doubles the performance of software renderer graphics API option in most cases. So on low-end devices the performance has been improved quite a lot. Now these changelogs apply both for official Citra PC version as well as Android version. And if we just go ahead and take a look at the latest Nightly build changes, then we have kernel improvements with these number of games like Super Mario 3D Land, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, etc. can be quit and relaunched from the home menu instead of crashing. So let's just start testing out this latest build of Emulator. And I have a great news to tell you guys that a low-end Android device will be finally coming on our channel very soon. I know it's very ironic that I started my journey with low-end Android devices, but now I don't have any low-end device to test emulators on, so I'll be fixing that very soon. Video will be coming maybe in few days, so wait for it. Anyways, let's open Citra Canary build 2557, the latest Canary build as I mentioned before. And if we just go ahead and head on over to settings, go to general, limit speed percentage, make sure to disable this option. Let's go to graphics. And here graphics API, make sure to use OpenGLES. Don't use Vulkan unless you have a MediaTek processor Android device. And even if you do have a device with Mali GPU, I would recommend you guys to use OpenGLES in most cases as Vulkan isn't really stable. Internal resolution, I'll keep it at 4x, why not? Linear filtering, make sure to disable this. Accurate shader multiplication, make sure to disable this as well on low-end devices. Disk shader cache, make sure to enable this option. That's pretty much it in terms of graphics. Now let's go to debug settings. CPU JIT has been enabled along with hardware shader. You don't have to enable debug renderer, so these are the default settings. You can enable VSync if you don't want to exceed the refresh rate of your Android device. With that all being said, let's just go ahead and open our game and start testing the latest Canary build. I'll click don't allow. There we go, the game is loading, and at the top left side you will see the FPS that we are getting. Skip the title screen and reality will be shown shortly. Now let me press back quickly and see if there are any new settings. Nope, show FPS, show overlay. That's about it. Anyways, let's skip this cutscene, and the gameplay which you are seeing right here will be emulated in 4x graphics resolution with accurate shader multiplication enabled, and we were getting around 120 to 150 FPS, but there are some frame drops as you will notice later on in today's video. I don't really understand. I enabled VSync but I'm still getting more than 120 FPS. Alright, there we go, the game is about to begin, and just take a look at how well does Citra Emulator Android works. The game has loaded 120, 130, almost 140 FPS, and I don't even know what's happening here, bro. It's just too crazy to process. But let's look into mirror and change into our clothes. We will exit the house and I'm pretty sure the FPS will be halved. But I have to say, I am seeing a bit of improvement in terms of performance, because previously I don't really think it used to run this well. Outside world, as I told you guys before, we will immediately see some difference. We have now dropped down to only 45 to 60 FPS, and as I mentioned before, I am running this game at 4x internal resolution. If I play the same game on Citra MMJ with 4x internal resolution, then I'm pretty sure that Citra MMJ will give me better performance results. But there are also some graphical glitches which are only present on Citra MMJ Android. Let's move on towards our next emulator or the next build, which is Citra Nightly. Now let's take a look at settings. Alright, I just remembered that I had modified the configuration of Citra Emulator in my past video to make sure that I get the best amount of FPS possible. I guess that's why all these settings are pre-applied, as both Citra Nightly and Canary build use same configurations. Anyways, let's open the game and see if the performance is better. You can also see the shaders got compiled, so I'm guessing it will be little better, but the show FPS option hasn't been enabled. We'll do just that. Alright, 106 FPS. We are definitely getting a little less FPS than what we were getting in Citra Canary build. There we go, the game is about to start, and last time we were getting around 140 FPS in this home space, but now we are only getting, nope, we are getting same amount of FPS, not completely same, it is few less FPS, but nonetheless very playable scenario. Now Nightly builds are more stable versions of Citra Emulator. In Canary build you get alpha features and improvements which are eventually rolled out to Nightly builds. So on Snapdragon devices you won't expect any performance improvements if your device is already flagship, can run all the games at 4x resolution. But if you guys have a low-end device, I am pretty sure that you will indeed see an reasonable improvement in terms of performance, and as I am using an configuration that might also be affecting my performance because modified the settings manually after updating the Citra emulator, it's a good idea to reset your configuration files to make all the settings default and see if there are any improvements or not. So let me know in the comment section down below if you guys are excited for me to test out emulators on low-end Android device. I won't be revealing much in this video. Stay tuned for the announcement. See you guys next time. Goodbye.